I mean, you should now, if you go on the party, there should hopefully be an option.
Podcast. I ticked it, so it should be working.
All right, let me get the Twitch up quick, and then I'll ask you to speak.
Fingers crossed that it is working. I'm just going to keep talking, so
It's
that
working.
sweet,
It's working.
excellent.
All right, now we yap to the stream for a while.
Well, it's not the worst thing. We can go over who's where in the standings. We can talk about some of the chaos that happened last week. Obviously, it was uh, didn't have the most ideal of races. Dobo got hit by a Williams in the last corner. MQK had an absolute nightmare of a race. I think he does have pace, but he's unable to have any kind of luck.
I mean,
Why are you listening to my stream? What the fuck?
am I? I'm not.
Oh, it's playing one of my streams back on.
Oh, I was
I
gonna
was
say
trying to find it.
I'm not listening. Lower.
I was tr- I was trying to find the clip of me in Canada.
I mean,
Um,
I've got completely no idea about Tier 3. All I know is that the championship leader, James, goes into this race 10 points ahead of Dobo, the Irishman v the British man. Ferrari v Red Bull. It's nice to see Ferrari doing well in their 2025 car. Can't say the same about real life because they
well,
finished a long way from Mercedes and Red Bull.
the IRL season had a bit of excitement towards the end. However, it is absolutely heartbreaking seeing what's happened to Lewis Hamilton. Seven-time world champion, and genuinely believing he's useless. I feel like that's so heartbreaking.
Oh yeah, I mean, without a doubt. I mean, look, we know Lewis is quality, but it wasn't meant to be this season. There was always the major risk going to Ferrari that they would go to crap because ever since they said, "Oh yeah, we're going to be changing the whole car," you knew something was going to happen.
Absolutely. I mean, was Mercedes moving from Mercedes the right move? I don't know. It has, however, allowed Antonelli to jump in, and he's had some pretty good results this season.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, he's had very good results. He's definitely proved me wrong because I was kind of against having Kimi in Mercedes. I wanted Valtteri because he's experienced. But
He will be on the grid next year, Cadillac.
oh, I know. But I mean, Kimi's got his that year experience towards the back end of the season. I think like final four races, he beat George 3-1. So I mean, Kimi doesn't like the European races. I think that's safe to say.
Yeah. Funny enough, though, I wouldn't say he's what I would say. I wouldn't call him my rookie of the year personally. I would have to go with Isaac Hadjar.
Oh well, I would have gone with Hadjar if Kimi didn't have the end of the season he's had. Obviously, Abu Dhabi was a iffy one, but then like Brazil fended off Max for P2. Obviously, got P2 in the sprint race as well. Mexico, he was out and out quicker than George. Qatar, he got fifth after a mistake. Yeah, the young lad's doing well. Obviously, he went from 17th to third in Las Vegas after the McLaren DSQ, which arguably made the end of the season more exciting because Max then got him within 2 points.
Well, I mean, it is one thing to go purely off of results. However, you also need to take into account that the car that he was in is arguably a lot better than the RB that Hadjar is in.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah, without a doubt. Hadjar's done exceptionally. I mean if you could do tied first, I would put Kimi and Hadjar same levels.
But what
But
do you make of the move to Red Bull for next season? I think it's going to kill Hadjar's career.
I think I think it's a perfect time. New regs gives Red Bull a chance to reset both the cars, make it more equal. I reckon Hadjar will not beat Max, but there will be like a couple races where they're close. Because Hadjar he's a boy with natural talent. To come
Oh
into
no,
Formula One,
100%.
to come into
100%
Formula
gonna
One
agree.
and then obviously he had his iffy start in Australia, but then
Yeah,
look at him
debut not
since.
the one.
Look at him since. His popularity's grown so much.
Well, I mean, that's down to the V Carb social media team. They've been putting in work. There's so many good ones.
I can't wait to see Arvid Lindblad though on the grid. I think it
I
might have
don't
been a
know
bit
what to
early.
make of that. I don't know a lot about him because I don't follow the F1 quite as much. But um, yeah, I don't know. From what I have seen on social media, his driving style is very similar to Max. Super aggressive.
I mean, you can't really compare anyone to Max. Max is one of a kind in drivers. There's people that try to imitate Max, me being one of them when I drive. But
Yeah.
Max is Max. You know, he's not. No one's. If I were, if Max won the title, well, I mean, I think. Oh, do I say this? I think because of this season, I don't have to say it. I think Max is the greatest of all time. Because of this season. This season's changed my point on the greatest of all time. I think Max is better than Lewis.
Hmm. I have to disagree. I have to disagree, unfortunately. When you consider the drivers that Lewis was going up against and beating, you know, Vettel, like prime Vettel, just coming out of his prime, Michael Schumacher, like when you got
Uh,
those people on the grid.
I wouldn't say just coming out of his prime. Michael Schumacher came out of retirement.
Well, but
James
still,
James has just said in chat that Lando is the best. I think you should be banned for that.
no, no. Chat restrict them. Honestly, no, no. That's not even. No, please don't insult me.
I cannot
I
believe
like
that.
Lando. I think he's a great driver, but good, no. He's done well to win the championship. He made the most out of having a pretty good car for the season, and he won a championship off of it. Credit to him. It was a struggle. He got it done. But the best, no. Let's not insult people who are actually in contention.
I mean, yeah, exactly. People, I don't get it. People say that Lando's better than George. No, he's not.
I'd have to say they're pretty even in my books.
Nah, George is so clear for me.
Guess we'll have to see next season.
Yeah, George will wipe the floor with him.
From what I've heard, the Mercedes power unit's going to be a really, really good one next year.
Yeah, Mercedes, they always do the best engine. There's no doubt about it. The car performance as well on the Mercedes side. I think that's going really well. Their expectations have already exceeded. They've already exceeded their expectations.
But what are we saying on the Honda power unit going to Aston Martin? Obviously, Adrian Newey, a big part of the development for that car. Could we see Stroll WDC next
No,
year?
no, 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 no.
Could you
Let's
imagine?
let's not go overboard here. If there's gonna be a man to take Aston to the top, it's quite obviously Fernando. Obviously, there's
Well,
links with Yuki going there, but I can't see Yuki being a champion. There's links of
no.
Leclerc going there, like high links. Because it's like, I think
What?
it's if Leclerc.
Leclerc to Aston? There's no way. He's got
There's
Stockholm syndrome, bro. He's never leaving Ferrari.
well, there's a lot of rumors about it because of the fact that if their 2026 car isn't good, Leclerc will highly consider leaving. He's already spoken to representatives with Mercedes, Red Bull, and Aston.
I mean, he's another one. I'd like to see what would happen with Leclerc if he got a really good car for a season.
I mean, he did have a good car for a season. He bottled it. 2022.
Wait, wasn't that the one where they bottled his win in Monaco?
Yes.
That's not his fault.
It's not.
I remember
It's
that. That
not.
was
It's
the
not.
season of the strategists being absolute idiots throughout the season.
There was a lot of time. It was half and half. There was times where it was Leclerc's fault, half when it was um the team's fault. Anyway, we're done with real life F1. We're here in
We
Zandvoort.
that we are a healthy looking grid, 19, getting ready to go out for qualifying.
If you have just joined in the Twitch, welcome to Tier 3 Round 4 in WHF Season 6. I want to say this is 6 or 7. Oh, fuck.
Six,
I
seven.
didn't mean to do that. What season is this?
I'm pretty sure it's season 6.
Okay, we're here for WHF Season 6, Tier 3 Round 4. 3 down and 9 to go, if I'm not mistaken. We're here in Zandvoort, in the Dutch beach side, the seaside, the Dutch Lions home, obviously known of Max Verstappen. You're joined by myself, Ria Harris, and today you've got Scones here. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Obviously, my favorite driver is going to be Raheem. I know him from a few other games that we've played. Hoping he does well. I think he's going to have pace throughout the season. If you've known him from when he first started with F1 and how much pace he's gained, definitely going to be one to watch, especially later on in the season. He's improving pretty much every week. He's going to be unstoppable by the end, I think.
I mean, of course, you've got the championship leader in the Scuderia Ferrari, James. As we finally have our first man coming out on track. 40 seconds gone. Fizzy Boy in the Kick Sauber making his way out of pit lane. Obviously, a man who hasn't really asserted his name so far this season. You've got Dobo and James, the two championship protagonists. Ferrari v Red Bull. Obviously, Red Bull in real life got P2 here at Zandvoort. McLaren finishing first, and also the other driver, Lando Norris, having a mechanical failure, as we have a Sauber, an Aston, a Red Bull, and a lot of Harrier cars now ushering onto the track. Is there a chance of rain? Because look at the clouds up and above.
It does look quite cloudy. That would certainly impact the race if it was raining.
It's not Zandvoort without a bit of rain, is it?
It is not. I wonder if we could see potentially, was it this season where it was a Ferrari double DNF?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's going to happen.
Hamilton had his crash at the corner we're watching James with now. Obviously, how it went wide. Actually, both Ferraris had their crash, didn't they? At turn at turn 4.
3?
Turn 4 on the banked corner, where obviously Hamilton went wide into the paint and had his little moment, which put him into the wall. And then Leclerc got absolutely terrorised by Kimi Antonelli, as our first lap in qualifying is underway. And with the amount of cars we've already seen hurry out on track, it won't be surprising if we might have some rain inbound. As through turn 1 we go, through Tarzan corner we go, with Fizzy Boy in the Kick Sauber. Obviously the final year was the Sauber name in Formula 1. Next year they go to Audi Sport. Obviously Audi, the German giants, have conquered every single motorsport that they have taken part in. Is Formula 1 the next victim for the Audi team? As there is a McLaren off of, I think, might actually be Raheem or Jamie Dwyer. It is Jamie Dwyer who has gone off in the little chicane complex where Leclerc did George Russell around the outside with a little bit of argy-bargy, elbows out. As through the heart of Sector 2 we go, on board with the Kick Sauber now through this long left-hander and then down towards the end of the middle sector. We're waiting for our benchmark time. Drain the battery towards the breaker board, break around the 100-meter boards just after it, sling the car in through the chicane, through this long and never-ending left-hander, and then towards the penultimate corner of the racetrack. Be careful not to tip a tyre in the grass, just like Lance Stroll did. Be very careful on that inside curb, as round the final banked corner of the racetrack we go. Down towards the line, and the provisional pole time and the benchmark for the rest of the drive to chase will be a 1:10.2 by Fizzy Boy. Roll over to the Aston Martin of NXJ, making his way towards the line. The Green Machine, who are going to Honda Power next season, he crosses the line, takes provisional pole. Ooh. Over to the Red Bull of Ansu. As he crosses the line, he goes only up into the top 3. Sci-Fi Mega Hype as his teammate Kelly Canal goes to provisional pole. There's a Red Bull and another Mercedes. Dobo starting lab. Maheen is also crossing the line now. Where can Maheen and the Silver Arrow go to provisional pole? Sci-Fi Mega Hype over the line only goes into the top 5 as Maheen takes provisional pole position. Raheem coming around the final corner. The man who got, I believe, his maiden podium last time out. Raheem comes over the line and goes slowest overall was a 1:11.1 as there's a Haas over the line. And then the Ferrari of James crossing the line. Championship leader to the front row there. James, 800 of a second from pole position as his teammate RWJ is going very slowly across the line, hitting the wall. As Timmy in the Haas, I believe that is, making his way to the line now to begin another lap time. We go, who is actually on the lap? Dobo one of the championship protagonists, the man second in the world championship, trying to hunt down James. 10 points split them going into round number 4 of season 6. End of the middle sector we go with Dobo now. His teammate might give him a little bit of a slipstream as his teammate is at the penultimate corner of the racetrack. Towards the penultimate corner of the racetrack we go, around just after the 50-meter board, slinging that car in, and then it's flat and foot flat to the floor as we go towards the line. Where's one of your championship protagonists, Dobo, powering to the line now, almost clipping the draft, and Dobo over the line. It's only P9 for the Red Bull.
You know, it's looking pretty competitive with the times. Obviously, you got James and Lil Margin, with just under a tenth between them. But what's also interesting is that we're bound to have quite a few battles throughout, just judging by the initial time set by everybody, with pretty much everybody partnered up with somebody with about a tenth between them.
Yeah,
the exception of the McLarens, I'd say.
Yeah, the McLaren's a bit off the pace as Timmy over the line goes slow to the 111.848. What about the Ferrari of RWJ? I believe now just beginning a lap time. We're going to watch Mimic though in the green machined Aston Martin. One Aston Martin currently sat in the top 4. Where can the second one go? Making his way around the bank in plenty of battery to spare, so he knows he will not run out as he crosses the line and goes second slowest overall. Slowest overall, the proper time set so far, 112.235, as the Racing Bulls of A54 makes his way towards the line now, and the Racing Bulls crosses the line and he goes into the top 9 there, 3 milliseconds ahead of championship protagonist Dobo.
So something interesting, Raheem coming into Sector 3 now is up by just shy of 7 tenths, which would put him in the mix right around P7, P8.
Towards the line we go with the McLaren, getting a maiden podium last time out. He crosses the line now, and that's much better from the Papaya car, going into the top 4 there, as his teammate Jamie Dwyer does peel into the pit lane. Raheem getting a proper time on the board now, much more competitive for his liking, as I believe RWJ is on a proper lap this time. 5.8 seconds up. Definitely a better lap time as the Ferrari making his way towards the final corner of the racetrack. The Ferrari now round the banking towards the line. Where can RWJ 94 in the Ferrari go? His teammate currently in the top 2, and he's going to peel into the pit lane. I believe that's
had improvements. He did have improvements. It wasn't anywhere enough for a decent lap time. So I think a fresh set of rubbers, and he'll be back on it. As we've got a Haas reversing down the main straight. Could be a bit of contact here between himself and a V-carb. Disqualified. Oh, should have just taken the extra lap, man. So he will be starting at the back of the grid. Timmy Bukaf.
Ellis making his way towards the line. The Williams Golf car only into the top 13, as there is a McLaren and some Alpines making their way towards the final corner. Raheem's not improving. Cali Canal is not improving either. Is any of them beginning a lap time? Raheem peels into pit lane. So does Cali Canal, as his teammate Sci-Fi Mega Hype takes us away for another lap. Scones, you can take this one away.
Alright, coming through the first turn now. Looking pretty clean. As looks to be saving quite a bit of ERS as we head over towards turn 4. Nice and clean through there. Going to be dumping the battery. And we'll take a look at the split shortly when we get to the timing line. And see, he is down by about half a tenth. So Sector 2 and 3 need to be absolutely massive to see him move up from P8.
Oh, there's a crash. Turn 4. Sorry to
interrupt. Haas.
Sorry to interrupt.
Billion Penguin.
If I can try and catch it, watching from the rear, yeah, he's crashed the wall. He's hit the wall where Daniel Ricciardo and Oscar Piastri crashed back in 2023. Obviously, our first victim has been claimed. Both Hasses are out of qualifying. One will be P7 at best. Apologies for button in there. Back to Sci-Fi Mega Hype, making his way around the banking towards the line, towards the start for this line, the timing line, the timing beam, whatever you bloody want to call it. Sci-Fi Mega Hype. Top 4.
Not enough for pole, but he did have a purple sector too. Now, something that is arguably common knowledge at this point, but Raheem has said that Sci-Fi Mega Hype is his main rival for the season. So I imagine we'll see Raheem out for another lap, as he only needs to find about half a tenth to get ahead of the Alpine, as we got NXJ in the Aston Martin clearing P2 by just shy of 3 tenths. I believe that's another driver that has not had a lot of luck this season.
Busy boy making his way to the line now. The kick Sauber man powering towards the line. There's a Williams coming over the line as the Sauber does actually peel into the pit lane. Next up will be maybe the Williams of Ellis. I apologise for missing the Aston Martin crossing the line, taking pole, or provisional pole I should say, by 2.5 tenths of a second. Ellis in the Golf Williams livery. That is just a stunning livery, isn't it? As he makes his way through the penultimate corner, Atlassian's William Racing. Ellis making his way towards the line as Sci-Fi Mega Hype peels into pit lane. Ellis is actually going to peel into the pit lane as well. So, someone's off in the gravel. Who was that in the gravel? It's an Aston Martin of Mimic Games off in the gravel. And there's a slow-moving Red Bull as well of Ansu. And a lot of cars actually going very, very slowly. James has just begun a lap. We go to Smoking Ash in the Silver Arrow, making his way towards the final corner now. Ash in the Mercedes. One Mercedes currently P2. The second other Mercedes we're watching currently P9 as Ash crosses the line to go into the top 7 over to the other Aston Martin of Mimic Games. I believe that he's actually just starting a lap. Maybe then Dobo, who has also just begun that championship protagonist, has begun a lap now as A54 is also beginning a lap now. So over to championship leader NMX James, who is one of only 3 cars in that middle sector at the moment. NMX James, also one of only 3 cars in the 1 minute 9s, but he is only in the 1 minute 9 by a millisecond. Only a tenth of a second up for the Ferrari man. As through the small hill hairpin we go, and towards the penultimate corner of the racetrack we go with NMX James slinging the car in. The championship leader will be looking to extend his margin ahead of Dobo. One currently 3rd, one currently 11th, but both improving on their laps as James crosses the line and can go to the front row just over a tenth behind from the pole position. And Kelly Canal will across the line and goes to the front row 400 of a second away from the provisional pole time. Over to the championship rival Dobo, only 100th of a second up as there's yellow flags out in the middle sector for a slow moving Scuderia Ferrari. I believe that's going to be RWJ as Dobo is actually going to peel into the pit lane. So over to Mimic Games as Mimic Games crosses the line and improves his time, but it is the slowest time we have seen so far. Over to maybe Maheen now. No, he has just begun his push lap at RWJ. Maybe will be crossing the line and it's begun another lap time. It's A54 goes into the top 4 with a 1 minute 09.871. Over to the Papaya McLaren of Raheem, who is actually on a out lap. Who else we got? RWJ. No, that is James in the middle sector. Maybe then I actually have no idea who's on the lap.
Things are really heating up in the top 7 or so. The timings are looking so close and everybody's looking pretty quick.
Maheen,
I mean,
it is very, very close. There is there's a Williams off in the middle sector going very, very slowly as Maheen was 700ths down at the end of the middle sector split. On board with the Mercedes. I think he's actually just ran out of fuel and he now peels into the pit lane. Over to the Kick Sour man. Fizzy Boy going for another lap. Going from how many sets of sauce has he got in this session? The Kick Sour man currently 6 tenths away from provisional pole. Can he go away and take provisional pole? He goes over the line, goes into the top 6 there. Good effort from the Kick Sauber as RWJ is peeling into pit lane. Over to the Racing Bulls. I think that's actually A54 going slow with no fuel, excuse me. Raheem, I think, is up next. Yes, he is. 4.5 tenths up is Raheem in the ballpark for provisional pole position. The man currently P8 on the timing page. 4 minutes 30 left on the clock. Raheem making his way towards the line. The McLaren crosses the line now to take the pole by a tenth of a second. Raheem climbs to the top of the timing page as his teammate Jamie Dwyer begins a lap, and I think we will stick with that lap. Scones, I've took most of this. You can take away the second McLaren, Jamie Dwyer, through turn 1.
All right. As we make our way over towards turn 4, We'll see if he can keep a claim. A lot of time to be made up to make it into the top 10. Needs to find over a second and a half to make his way into the top 10. Needs to beat the time of Billion Penguin, currently on a 1:10.32. He's down by just shy of 2/10. So I don't know what the type of second and third sector we will see from Jamie Dwyer, but I don't think this is going to be the lap to do it. It's just, I don't think it's going to be enough, and he may need to make peace with starting towards the back of the grid. Yeah,
I think
he might be abandoning it and maybe trying to go for a second attempt now.
I mean, he's got the fuel. He's got enough fuel to go again, but it is basically now or never for Jamie Dwyer, as Ansu, I believe, is actually on a lap time, making his way around the final corner of the racetrack. The Red Bulls not looking well at this current moment in time. Ansu will come to the line now and will only improve to P11, barely ahead of his teammate there, 400 ahead of his teammate. As who do we want to watch next? Ellis is on a lap 9, maybe the Racing Bulls of A54, so he is on a out lap. Who else? Who could be on a lap? The Aston Martin. I think it actually be Ellis, or is there an Alpine? It's Sci-Fi Mega Hype. No, it's Sci-Fi Mega Hype on a lap, just over a 10th up already. This is going to be matching Fizzy Boy's time, but is there a lot of time in the middle sector to find, like Raheem did on the grass in the mid part of the apex of the long left-hander? As towards the end of the middle sector we go, and I might have actually backed out of it because he is now sat in non-ERS mode. So we'll go to Ellis in the Williams. He is bailed out of it as well, as Jamie Dwyer is also bailed out of it as well. So, who is actually up next?
Mimic Games has just started a lap, making his way over towards turn 1.
I think A54 might be on a lap as well. A man in the shout for pole position. I think we'll stay with A54, or maybe no, Fizzy Boy on the ally. So yeah, I think it will be A54 up next. It's meant to be NXJ, the man on provisional pole, making his way towards the line. Can the Aston Martin retake provisional pole over the line? Oh, yeah, bet he can, with a 109.3, 2/10 to the good. As there is a Red Bull of Dobo beginning a lap time, we now will watch A54 through the middle sector. Can the Racing Bulls usurp the Aston Martin? A 109.3 is the time to beat, set by NXJ in the Aston Martin. A 10th to the good on his personal best is A54. This is only going to be good enough at the minute for P4, as A54 makes his way towards the penultimate corner. Now, drain the battery all the way to the line. A54 making his way around the banking towards the line now. The Racing Bulls will look to take pole position away, but is it going to be enough crossing the line? It's going to be good enough for third. That will do him surely, as RWJ, I believe, will be up next in the Ferrari. He's getting a tow, but the Aston Martin in front. RWJ can only stay in P14. Over to Sci-Fi Mega Hype into the pit lane. Raheem is in the pit lane as Jamie Dwyer is coming towards the line. There's one McLaren on the front row, the other McLaren only 14th place on the grid for the other McLaren. Over to the other Aston Martin. No, sorry, that's NXJ. Over to the Mercedes, who are beginning lap times. Championship leader, championship protagonist, Dobo, making his way to the line. Dobo, where is he standing up on the order? Only P11. He is miles behind his championship rival, as there is a Williams over the line of Page, who goes only 17th fastest. Over to the Kick Sauber now of Fizzy Boy. He's barely improving on his time, 500th down on his personal best, making his way towards the line now. The Kick Sauber will cross the line and will go in P7 still. Over to the Racing Bulls of A54, who's not on the lap. What can the championship leader do? Making his way to the line. NMX James, the Ferrari, crosses the line now. Must have made a mistake. He lost 3/10 in that final sector. Over to the Williams, who is in the wall. Ellis in the wall. Ellis in the Williams, finding the barrier. RWJ peels into the pit lane. What about Mimic Games? He peels into the pit lane. What about Cali Canal? Can Cali Canal take it away? No, they're going half throttle. So is Jamie Dwyer. Over to the Mercedes of Maheen. But first up of the Mercedes will be Ash, a 10th and a half down on his personal best. Ash will cross the line now and will stay P9 despite improving by half a tenth of a second. What about Maheen now? He's only improving by half a tenth. As crossing the line, Maheen will go, improves his time, doesn't improve position as the Red Bull over the line of Dobo, doesn't improve championship protagonist. Down in 11th as the championship leader is only lining up P5 on the grid. I believe that is qualifying done and dusted as Page isn't improving. It's NXJ on pole from Raheem and A54 starting third.
Well, I am very curious about what we might see into turn one, and if there's going to be any drivers that, a lot of people believe the race is won and lost in the first turn, and they'll make an audacious dive or overtake and end up causing chaos. I'm hoping that's not something we see when we make our way over to the race start. What a qualifying session that was. A lot of close times, but at the moment NXJ looks just in a different league, clearing by 2 and a bit tenths to P2.
Monumental time by the German driver. Obviously, only 2 tenths around this circuit is massive. It's a short circuit. It's like what's another? It's like Austria. Like Lando's pole this season, half a second ahead of Charles Leclerc. Like, to find that much in a 1 minute, a 1 minute 4 lap time, as we have grey skies once again here in Zandvoort. Is there going to be rain on the horizon?
I mean, yeah, 2 tenths is not small. I mean, if it was Spa or a longer track similar to Spa, that is not that much in the grand scheme of things. But on a short track like this, 2 tenths is huge. So I'm wondering if we're going to see NXJ dominate here if he can get through the first few turns and pull a gap to P2.
So we've got around 3 minutes before we begin. If you see the 5 red lights at any time before 8:29, then I believe we should be restarting. 2 minutes now, actually, as we are awaiting the beginning of this race. Obviously, NXJ in the Aston Martin is on pole position. And then if we actually go to race director quickly, Raheem, who got his maiden podium last time out, if I'm not mistaken from Scones' words, what he told me before the race. Raheem got his maiden podium back in, what was last race? Spain, wasn't it?
I believe so.
In Spain, obviously A54. Currently in the top 3 for Racing Bulls. Cali Canal, the tie driver, doing what Alex Albon did back in 2023, putting their car in the top 4. Championship leader James, currently 5th. Maheen in the Mercedes, 6th. Let's talk about Red Bull, shall we? Red Bull, 11th and 12th on the grid. The championship protagonist, Dobo, who needs to outscore his rival by 10 or 11 points to take the championship lead today. Not looking in a great position to do so, considering that James is 5th and Dobo is 11th. What do you make on that?
Well, short of having the perfect strategy, a safety car, and a hell of a lot more pace than the 10 drivers ahead of you, I don't see any way of Dobo pulling a result that'll bring him the win, unless something happens to NMX James. I mean, he is sitting down in 5th. Anything can happen in the opening lap. If there's rain, that complicates things even further. I do find it interesting, the amount of drivers opting for the hard tire.
Always time for them to change. Obviously, it's Zandvoort. I think the suggested strategy is the 2-stop strategy here, if I'm not wrong, from SRC. I'm not actually too sure about it. I might actually have to go and fact check that after the start. Not long till we get going now. Obviously, the Aston Martin got pole by 2.5 tenths of a second. NXJ, and then Cali Canal, obviously 4th for the Alpine team, the tyre driver. On the front row, I've already forgot who's on the front row.
It's NXJ and Raheem.
That's it. Raheem, who got his maiden podium last time out in Catalonia, will be looking to get his maiden win now. The clock has ticked over to 29 minutes past the hour. So, it's a matter of time as to how long it takes our drivers to ready up. We await the 5 red lights here in Zandvoort. And the question is...
Now, I wouldn't recommend it, but it is technically possible to do 32 laps on a set of hards here.
Possible, but very ambitious. Zandvoort, a historic track for racing, came back in 2021 thanks to the ongoing roar from the Dutch fans, which brought it back. But next year will be the final time as the 5 red lights are on ahead of the drivers. And the Dutch Grand Prix is going. It's a very slow start by our pole sitter. There's already in the turn 1 Raheem lead from the Alpine of Cali Canal on the inside. Side by side round goes the Mercedes on the soft compound tyre as towards turn number 2, 3 and 4 we go. On the grass goes our pole sitter and right down to the P5. Through the banking we go now side by side between the Racing Bulls and NMX James as towards the twists and turns of the flat out section. Sector 1 we go. Raheem leads from Cali Canal, A54 under pressure from the championship leader. Side by side into this section. You don't see many moves there. As almost got a tyre hooking. They keep it clean and our pole sitter already down into P5 as through sector 2 we go now. There is 5 cars off. And Enshu, Mimic Games, so many cars are off in already on the opening lap. 5 cars have bit the dust in this opening lap and are already far down the train as towards the end of the little sector we go as Limahin is getting very close to the rear there of Fizzy Boy, but in towards sector 3 we go. Sci-Fi Mega Hype and Ellis going side by side, and now the Sauber of MQK will look around the outside of Sci-Fi Mega Hype as towards the inside we go onto penultimate corner, and MQK has got the position as Fizzy Boy has been overtaken by Maheen in the banking. Down the main straight we go to start lap number 2 of 36 here in Zandvoort. It's Raheem that leads from Cali Canal, A54 in third. Championship leader James putting the pressure on the Racing Bulls, and our pole sitter down to 5th.
So I wonder what kind of pressure we will be seeing from the Alpine of Cali Canal as we see that gap open up now.
Another member at turn 3 this time on the exit of turn 3, and both the Williams, man. I think they're actually brothers, ain't they, if I'm not wrong?
They are. All the LTJ are related between all the different tiers we've got here in WHF. They keep it in the family.
The 2 brothers down together at 15th and 16th place, but out in front, the gap has extended to 1.2 seconds. Similar tyre compound between the top 2, as Cali Canal has got A54 putting them under a little bit of pressure as we go towards the penultimate corner racetrack. Pages ago, my mistake.
Cali Canal will not have DRS, and it's up to A54 to try and close that gap. But he's got NMX James coming down the main straight now. Could we see a lunge into turn 1? As we see A54 maintaining the line, not really giving any kind of defense there. We've got NMX James right behind, just behind him. We've got NXJ, the pole sitter, who's dropped down 4 places, looking to claw back any kind of position he can find. As we make our way over to turn 4, it is all to play for as Cali's closing the gap to Raheem now within a second. A54 falling out of that DRS range currently. But still a few turns to go for everybody to catch up. Something may have happened to Raheem as we see that gap close to less than half a second briefly.
Very interesting what I've noticed through turn 4, the bank corner. It's so interesting to see the different lines that drivers opt to take. You see some people taking the tighter line to minimise the length of the corner. Some people take the higher line to optimise the exit. But the battle for the lead has got very much closer towards the braking zone of this little chicane we go. And the gap out front was 1.2 as Fizzy Boy and Maheen side by side through here. And you don't see many moves there. Fizzy Boy back ahead of Maheen, whose soft tyres might already be dying. Out in front though, watching from the rear of the McLaren driver. Down the main straight we go towards turn 1, towards Tarzan corner, and there doesn't seem to be any moves happening. However, the championship leaders on the inside of the podium places, on the inside of A54, a little bit of contact between the front left and rear right. There's yellow flags out as side by side for the podium place we go still, and it is NMX James past A54 as now NXJ putting pressure on the Racing Bulls. The pole sitter has now got 1 place back. He's got 1 down, 3 to go to get back to where he started this race. As towards the end of sector 1 we go, Cali Canal is putting pressure on Raheem, who has been leading since the lights went out, as the Aston Martin is now putting our championship leader under some sorts of pressure through the heart of sector 2 we go. The Aston Martin seem to have a bit more grip on those medium compound tyres compared to James on the harder compound tyres. But now, towards the end of the middle sector we go with Cali Canal under braking through the chicane. Half a second split the pair of them as Jamie Dwyer having another moment, and he's dropped down all the way down to P16. 6 seconds from the pack of the two LTG siblings. Round the banking we go, and is this the chance for Cali Canal? Down the main straight we go. He's gaining on Raheem, as towards turn number 1 we go, and they are not close enough. As back towards our championship, the fight with the championship leader. And Jay looking running outside, might try the up and unders. Maheen already has to pit off those soft compound tyres, and then it's Jay tried to overtake on the grass. They're very optimistic to try and overtake into there anyways, but going onto the grass as well, very bold to try and go for it there, as the gap out front is down to 4.5 tenths of a second. Cali Canal putting the pressure on Raheem.
I'm wondering if we could potentially see NMX James close that 2 tenths, and then we'll have DRS all the way down to P7. But it is a large amount, and we've got a yellow flag.
And it's a retirement. Jamie Dwyer has retired from this race.
Not his race.
DNF.
Just not having a good time. Unable to find the pace was Jamie Dwyer. NMX James has looked to close the gap. Looks like about 9 tenths.
Yeah, he's got DRS. The detection point was on the exit of the corner. Round the penultimate corner we go. Poor corner there for Cali Canal. Turns the ERS on. Down the main straight we go for the 6th time now. As towards turn number 1 we go. Cali Canal is gaining on Raheem. We're going
to see a move.
Pulls out to the inside. Dummies the move to try and fake the move. And try and put Raheem offline. But nothing done there. Yellow flags out as a Williams around. And we've got a virtual...
Safety car. Full safety car. Oh, what happened? Who was it?
Sci-Fi Mega Hype has lost their front wing. In the banking, I think. Is it Sci-Fi Mega Hype? It's either, it might be either Sci-Fi Mega Hype or the Williams.
It is Sci-Fi Mega Hype lost his wing. It looks like the Williams has also lost his wing.
Potentially a collision then in the banking, which you don't really see many collisions in the banking. Yeah, the Alpine getting a front wing change, as the Williams of Ellis isn't changing their front wing, as the Williams are double stacking. I don't get why both Williams pitted. One of them could have stayed out another lap, because the pack haven't actually caught the safety car. However, I would say this has screwed over Maheen, who pitted a lap ago for a new set of the hard compound tyres. He's going to lose a hatful of places now, as Raheem, who was being put under pressure by Cali Canal, their lead, probably nice and safe now. You could arguably, as mentioned in the chat there by the actual Twitch chat, you could chuck on a set of hards to the end, but due to this game's tyre wear, I
promise you it's possible, Rio. I've done it.
I know. I'm not saying it's not possible, but a lot of management will be needed. So who opts the pit box? Raheem, Cali Canal, NMX James, championship leader, stays out.
What compound are they going for, though? That is the question, because NMX James, I believe, is on the hard, so he's on the ideal compound currently, and it looks like everybody's...
The top 2 in the championship have stayed out.
I don't know if that's the right move from Dover, but he is on the hard, so he's kind of forced to stay out.
Softs for Fizzy Boy.
Hey?
Softs. Oh my god.
Surely. Okay, that is not a good move. You're gonna waste their usage on the safety car.
I don't think you'd waste that much on the safety car. You don't have to push fully, because you're gonna catch nonetheless.
Yeah, but you only get like what, 5 or 6 laps out of a set of softs. Really? Really? Really, Rio? That's 2 now. That's twice you've done that.
And the first time was so nice. I had to do it twice. Anyway, 5 cars have stayed out. The top 2 in the World Championship. James, your championship leader, leads the Dutch Grand Prix from Dobo, the man 2nd in the World Championship. The Sci-Fi Mega Hype has picked up a track limit penalty on the safety car. Oh, I've seen it all.
Oh, that's not the funniest thing I've seen. I've seen somebody spinning...
Why have you retired? Oh my god.
I was going to say, I've seen somebody lose it in a corner, go into a wall, and DNF under safety car. Like they were exiting a corner, spun round. That was at Baku.
After you've seen that, I've seen it in real life as well. Remember back to, I think it was 2017, 2018, Roman Grosjean, under safety car, actually in Baku as well. Just lit the rears up and went straight into the wall. Broken rear wing.
You know what? Probably from that incident.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't know you could
pointless
get
to
rim
even
damage.
try and continue racing with the rear wing. You're going to end up DNFing, especially with all the high-speed corners at Zandvoort. It's not worth it. You probably end up getting like 5 or 6 laps in and lose the rear on a corner,
Oh
and end up
yeah, I
crashing into the
agree.
wall.
Yeah, as entertaining it would have been to probably have caused another safety car due to you losing the rear, I think for the other driver's safety, that was the best option to just retire from the race with that very highly damaged rear wing, which you... Sci-Fi, since you're here in chat, what happened? What happened in the banking? What's this reading for our safety car?
See, this is where I wish we had all the resources. Have you ever seen the Creator Series F1
Yeah.
races? And they like give the replay of the POV because obviously everybody's streaming. So like I guess there's somebody just goes around and clips
Oh,
like the incidents.
Ash is off.
What, under safety car?
It's the
What?
second driver we've seen go off under safety car now. Ash has got front right end plate damage.
How? He's on he's on fresh tires though, so
Hey,
I
Ash is
don't reckon it'll be worth it to
Ash is on
pit.
old tyres.
Is he?
Ash is
Oh
one,
yeah,
Ash
yeah,
is one
shit,
of
my
5
bad.
drivers that did stay out. Apart from obviously Maheen, who stayed out despite being he pitted with fresh tyres 1 lap before the safety car had come out. I apparently overtook someone illegally. Oh. So, Ash should be peeling into the pit lane. So, for the likes of Raheem and Cali Canal, that's already 1 down, 4 to go to get back to the race lead. 18 people in the Twitch. If you have just joined in now, as Ash is actually staying out with the front wing damage.
Well, it doesn't look too severe. Usually the end plate doesn't cost you that much, depending on the track, of course.
I mean, Zandvoort's a really high. It's a high speed and you need a downforce here.
Yeah, but it's such a grippy track, though. That's the thing. Like, there's only a handful of corners you'd be really impacted by the front right end plate.
I mean, if he was on new tires, I would understand. But he's on 8-lap-old hards. I don't get why you would stay out with the damage.
He might be trying to stretch those to get a one stop. Maybe switch to the mediums around lap 23.
Yeah, that's what Arrow's just mentioned in chat. I believe Arrow that is messaging from the We Have Fun Twitch account.
That will be him, yes.
This is a horrible track to get damage on. It's similar to this is like Qatar in a sense. You get damage here, you're finished. Like it's an absolutely horrid track for damage because of all like the long, medium to high speed corners. If you've just joined in with us, welcome to Tier 3 for the Dutch Grand Prix, Round 4 in Season 6. Safety car is peeling into the pits at the end of this lap. Our championship leader, NMX James, opted to stay out on the safety car. Same with Dobo, MQK, RWJ, and Ash. The top 5 did consist of Ash until a moment under safety car through the second part of the right-hand complex where that death curb does await. Watching from the rear of our championship leader, the top 2 in the championship, fun fact, are currently the top 2 in the race. 10-point split, these two on your screen at this moment in time. Weaving away to get some extra tyre time. When does James pull the trigger? It's almost contact, and now he goes, catching them all, napping. Really good safety car restart there. Caught them all by surprise, and down the main straight we go. It's already a 1-second lead for our championship leader, as now side by side towards turn number 1. A whole couple of cars is into the back of the oh my god, into the back.
Oh
of the
my
Ferrari.
God!
There's contact between many cars. All half of the field spinning away. Much contact, much debris being kicked up by the pack as there's absolute chaos on the safety car restart. Damage for Cali Canal, damage for A54, damage for so many drivers. Who else is there damage for? Maybe the Mercedes of Ash as well. Ash picking up even more damage. Damage for Cali Canal, who was trying to fight for this race win. The Sauber seemed to get away as Cali Canal dropping even more places now. Absolute chaos on the safety car restart as now Dobo being put under pressure from MQK as off the road goes the Racing Bulls of A54. The man who qualified P3 down into 17th after an absolutely chaotic safety car restart. As side by side we go, Billy and Penguin dueling away with RWJ. Billy and Penguin on those new hard compound tyres is now got a net second in the race out of absolutely nowhere.
Well, the biggest takeaway from that is it was a really good restart from James, but I want to say the fault of that gap goes on MQK personally. he kind of seemed to try and make a lunge down the inside before anybody had actually started moving, and that kind of threw the whole pack off.
Sorry, side by side between Maheen and RWJ. Maheen's the next man to get ahead of RWJ, who's starting to fall down the order here. Now Fizzy Boy does a lovely move on those soft compound tyres around the outside of the banked corner. MQK had a quality ban up 15 places at this current moment in time. If we go to tyres, obviously he stayed out under the safety car. He's got his next target is Raheem Dobos, losing so much time hand over fist compared to NMX James, the top two in the championship. One exceeding, one falling. As MQK is now putting the championship protagonist, the championship rival, under pressure. MQK, who started from the back, made up 15 places so far. A lot was gained under safety car. He's looking to get up into P2, but Raheem is close to the heels there. As what's happened to RWJ, losing many places now. Just lost 3 places through that complex of corners. But towards the fight for second place in the race, we're going to watch it from Raheem so we can have front row seats to this. Dobo weaving, trying to break the toe. Towards turn 1 we go. To the inside goes MQK. And on the outside, Dobo will try and hold this. Side by side they go. Through turn 1. On board was the McLaren. Now through turn 2 and 3 we go. As Dobo just backs out of it. Now Raheem might try and look around the outside. Does an inside move like Antonelli. Almost hits the rear left tyre. On the power though. Lovely traction from the McLaren. And gets a great slingshot exit on the exit of the corner. And Raheem has got one. And now he's going to have a look on MQK. As there is another retirement. Nahas has retired on track. Through the sector 2 we go, as Billy and Penguin now all over the rear of Dobo. Billy and Penguin diving down the inside on Dobo. Dobo losing 2 places now on this lap. Actually 3 places, I should make that. As now Maheen is now looking around the outside of Dobo. Around the outside, you don't see many overtakes here. As Dobo putting wide, and into the wall goes Dobo. The man, second in the World Championship. Big front wing damage, and Dobo's got damage after contact with Maheen. Tyre hooking on, and Maheen is up into 5th, Fizzy Boy up into 6th, Ash up into 7th, Dobo down into 8th. As towards the banking we go, Raheem has almost pulled away from Billy and Penguin, and this should be a slam dunk pass. Round the banking we go, round the final corner we go, towards turn number 1 of the racetrack we go. MQK is not opting to fight this one, and Raheem's going down the inside at turn number 1, and Raheem is up into 2nd place. It is a net P1 as Dobo does now peel into pit lane, as he's picked up major front wing damage there and absolutely modifying his strategy. As Billy and Penguin will be next up to try and challenge MQK in the Sauber. Mimic Games in the Aston Martin has picked up a 3-second penalty. RWJ has disconnected from the session. The Ferrari has left the session, as out in front the gap is 2.1 seconds. Our championship leader continues to lead the way. He might be very slow at this phase of the race, but Scones, later on, he will be very rapid.
I don't have RWJ on my friends list, so I can't even invite him back.
I think Arrow's in the lobby, so I think Arrow should be able to invite him.
Oh, MQK going off there.
Oh, he is.
Loses it.
Kicks Sauber off, and through goes Billy and Penguin. It's a gift. It's an early Christmas present for the Haas driver. As MQK
has he got DRS though?
Yes, he has.
He does.
Lucky for him, the DRS detection is just on the exit of the corner, so I think he would have actually got DRS from Raheem. Either way, Maheen is looking around the outside as MQK has just let Maheen through just like that. So, sure, never. Moving on. Billy and Penguin almost back onto the rear of Raheem, however. Half a second split our 2 net race leaders, as James, his pace seems to be okay at this current moment in time, as our pole sitter down in 10th. Yikes. With damage.
Oh, who's got damage? NXJ.
Yeah, NXJ must have picked up damage on that chaotic restart. He's now tucked up behind one of the LTG siblings. As onto the curb. What's going on? Mr. Williams ran outside. Lovely move by our pole sitter. He's got a long way to go if he is to get back up to first. But anything's possible in Zandvoort, like we mentioned before.
Ooh, Billion Penguin could potentially get the overtake here on the main straight. As that gap not looking too healthy. Could potentially see a pass on Raheem here.
Down the main straight we go. Towards turn 1. Pulls out to the inside, and our net race leaders have changed position, or have they? Raheem will continue to fight this around the outside, but he's just not got the grit to do so on that dirtier line. And now Raheem looking on the inside of turn 3, very bold if you go for it, but this is now letting Mahin back into the fight. NQK is doing well to stick onto the rear, but NMX James is the championship leader. His pace very, very strong on those 6-lap older tyres as RWJ has boxed on this lap. He still hasn't rejoined the session yet. I haven't got him added either, so that's something that's going to have to hopefully be sorted. Pronounce the J in Mahin. Majin.
Martian.
Oh,
Like Martian Boo?
don't know what that is.
You've never watched Dragon Ball Z?
No.
Like, actually. Oh my goodness.
Yes, so what, Margin?
Martian.
Margin,
I would-
okay. So,
The gap, though, P2 to P1, has come down by nearly a second, so Billion Penguin looks to be doing the Lord's work, closing the gap to NMX James.
either way, Raheem.
Oh.
Oh, that's very early for James. James into pit lane, as are now. This is the fight for the race lead, and Raheem does retake the lead, but Penguin is going to hold this around the outside, side by side through Tarzan, towards turn 2. Towards turn 2 and 3, side by side between your top 2 in the race, as Penguin has got the inside line on board. Mr. McLaren gets shuffled out wide, and Penguin can fight this still as towards the far section, as towards the end of sector 2 we go. Billy and Penguin takes the lead of the Dutch Grand Prix. Raheem, who started P2, is now still in P2 as is it Margin?
Martian.
Margin in the Mercedes, currently P3 after getting shafted by the safety car. MQK in the Sauber, doing very well after starting from last, as Fizzy Boy on the soft compound tyres will be definitely starting the 4-way. 9 laps already on those soft compound tyres. 4-car DRS chain, as our championship leader has already made 1 place. Paige, she has lost another place to, this time to our championship leader, as he is looking to make up a lot more ground. Onto another set. Excuse me. Onto another set of the hard compound tyres. Out in front though. Down the main straight we go. Penguin looking to defend this, or is he? He's just letting him through. Or is he? Yeah, he's just letting him through. That's not very entertaining.
I think it might be a case of potentially trying to DRS swap.
You won't. That's not really efficient though. As Ellis ran the outside of Ansu. Lovely move at Tarzan by Ellis, the Williams driver, having a much more better second phase to this race compared to their first race. They were down in the Williams pair were down in 15th and 16th. Mimic Page and Mimic Games into pit lane as well. Out in front though. Where's our race leaders? There's our race leaders. The gap is only 4/10 of a second. I don't get why Billy and Penguins just let him through. Yes, it might be the DRS swap, but then if anything, it lost them time. He was clearly lifting off the throttle. I've just realized I haven't had the lap time thing on the all race. Either way, towards the penultimate corner of the racetrack, a little bit of a moment there for Billy and Penguin, who has almost dropped margin out of DRS. Round the banking we go, down towards turn number 1 we go. Raheem wants to defend this. Billy and Penguin pulls out to the inside, side by side between our race leaders once again. And Billy and Penguin can retake the lead. Raheem will keep to try and look around the outside, but can't do anything to stop the Haas charging on through, backing to the lead of this race as Ansu and Ellis swapping around once again. This time it's Ansu now ahead of Ellis as our championship leader sets a brand new fastest lap of this race. Scones, is this the right strategy from our championship leader?
It's difficult to say. I mean, 23 laps. Is it 23? Where is
He has to pit again though. He's done hard.
Oh yes, and he definitely has to pit again. We're looking at like it. He might do softs for the last stint. I don't know.
I mean, I think he might box. Might box in like 10 laps time. Maybe chuck on a set of mediums. 8 to 10 laps time. Sorry, 10 to 12 laps time, I should say. As the race leaders are very close. Oh, Raheem rear looking through the chicane. Major moment. Watching from the offboard shot of Raheem, the McLaren. What a save into the entry of the chicane. A major moment for the McLaren man, as down the main straight we go, and our race leaders once again are looking to swap, or are they? Yes, they are. And it just looks like he's getting off the throttle, Penguin, down the main straight.
That looked to me like he was maybe going to pit and then decided not to.
That's what I was thinking. I thought he wasn't going to pit into the pits then. This race, as Arrow has just mentioned into the Twitch chat, it has been very good so far. As there's contact between Ansu and Ellis. Ellis and Ansu, the Aston Martin, also the Red Bull I should say, sent sliding through turn 1. NXJR pole sitter now ahead of him, and Ellis has broken away a second clear. Cali Canal, who had that massive crash on the safety car restart, running into the rear of, I've already forgotten who they ran into the rear of, but Cali Canal, the tyre driver, currently down in P12, starting 4th. Back to our race leaders though, this 4-car DRS train, one driver hasn't pitted yet, the top 3 have, and I think this is working wonders at the minute for MQK. I think everyone in the top 8, well actually in the top 9 really, as NMX James has picked up another place in this race on the inside of that corner. Wow, very optimistic there. Out in front though, Penguin, watching from the rear of Raheem. Down the main straight we go. Raheem pulls out to the inside, but Penguin does then get to the inside, and through goes Penguin to the race lead. Raheem looks around the outside again, taps the rear on the Haas as towards turn 2 and 3 we go, and there is nothing done as Fizzy Boy, quite the decent stint on those soft 13 laps on the soft tyres, does now box as an extra pole sitter picks up a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane onto a set of mediums with 16 laps remaining. Wow, that's going to be a very bold stint. As out in front, the gap is 2.5 tenths of a second. Make that 4.5 tenths of a second as the dirty air absolutely kills you for this section of racetrack. The car snaking around from watching the offboard shot of Raheem as towards this section of racetrack we go with Raheem and our man who started P2 in this race, Penguin, who actually came out of nowhere, really, up 9 places, starting down all the way in P10. Raheem trying to break away from Margin. Is it Margin? I keep saying it wrong, don't I?
Yeah, Margin. Yeah,
Margin, I got it right, yeah! I'm going to, let me turn the telemetry on. I want to see what Billy and Penguin's doing. Do they lift off the throttle or not?
No, he's got it pinned. Still pinned.
Towards turn 1 we go. The top 2 are side by side.
I think he's just running higher wings. It must be.
He didn't even turn the battery off. There's MQK has opted for the undercut. Surely a set of the medium tyres. Is that for wets?
Eh? What on earth are you... Is it meant to rain and that's why everybody's staying out for so long?
No, it can't be raining. Look at the sky. It wouldn't have gone for wets now.
Why would you go wets and not inters even if there was rain coming? What? Supposed to be burnt up within a lap and a half.
Sci-Fi Mega Hype just said it was a mistake. So the game maybe shafted him.
That's the thing.
That's unfortunate.
We didn't actually have a driver in the
So the race leaders side by side. Between the race leaders, Billy and Penguin ran the outside of Raheem. As side by side they go. Raheem will get the DRS towards turn number 1. Raheem round the penultimate corner. And towards the final corner we go now with Raheem. Sorry to butt in there, Scones, but the top 2 were side by side as Ash is now ahead of MQK. Into pit lane goes Raheem for the undercut. Very, very cautious on the pit lane entry there. Look how cautious he was.
Could it be a second set of hards?
It is a second set of hard. Yeah, medium, hard. That is the very optimal strategy here in Zandvoort. Will anyone risk going to the end of the race? James has undercut Raheem by a country mile, but if I'm not wrong, James has to box again.
He does. Meanwhile, Raheem, that is his final stop of the race.
Ooh, LXJ's off. Pole sitter off. And he's lost his front wing. NXJ is retired from the race. On the track, JI almost careers into the side of the racing balls. He's stopped on track now. Is there a chance for a virtual safety car? Is that our 4th DNF of the race so far? Out in front though, Billy and Penguin has put the burners on to try and minimise the effect of the undercuts that has been initiated by Raheem. Will Billy and Penguin peel into pit lane, or will Billy and Penguin try and go to the end? He'll have to do.
I reckon he'll go the distance, you know.
30 laps. Well, actually, no. Would it be 30 laps? It'll be around that. Billy and Penguin down the main straight we go. Is pitting this lap. Billy and Penguin into pit lane. Same with Margin as well. So A lot less cautious by Billy and Penguin in the pit lane, same as Margin. What do they go for? The Mercedes onto a set of mediums, and the Haas onto a set of mediums as well. So split strategies are now occurring. We're going to watch from Raheem, though.
If the undercuts work, he'll come out ahead, but I'm not sure if he's got it.
Oh, this is going to be very tight. I think he's been jumped. I think Raheem's been jumped. Raheem might have been jumped by Emma Margin as well. This is going to be really, really tight on pit lane exit. Side by side they go. They are side by side through turn 3 towards turn 4. Side by side the pair of them go. Wheel banging through turn 4 on the banking as Margin gets caught up by the slower Williams as they both get by. And Raheem has initiated the undercut but has lost a place. Actually, no, he's actually kept the same place, sorry. But he's lost a lot of time in comparison to Billy and Penguin, who leads by 1.5 seconds. Margin as well has gained a lot of time in this as well. He's now on the rear of our previous race leader.
That is sort of this is where it gets tricky, because if Raheem can hold on to that position, his tires will come into play in the coming laps, and those mediums will fall off towards the end. So it's getting spicy now.
Definitely is. Margin around the penultimate corner. Could we see our position change? Could we see Raheem go down to net P3? MQK's made up a place after getting off those full wet tyres. As towards turn 1 we go. Margin to the inside and to second place net in the race. Margin is through into the top 3. It will be a net P2 when NMX James does peel into the pit lane. But Scones, is James just going to stay out and try and hope for a virtual safety car or a safety car in this race? I have no idea.
If he has to pit now, it's going to put him like way down around P8. Like way down. So
20. Yeah, I think he will come out ahead of Cali Canal and behind Fizzy Boy in the Kick Sauber, as Dobo and A54 are side by side through Tarzan. Through turn 2 and 3 we go now. The two Red Bull machines are side by side, and there's almost contact as Dobo takes the higher line, and the man second in the World Championship is losing time hand over fist now. Down into P12, fighting with A54, who's got 6 lap older tyres than Dobo actually. As out in front, the gap is down to 7 seconds. Could Margin now take the net race lead? Round the banking, towards turn 1 we go. Watching from the rear, Billy and Penguin almost tags the wall as Billy and Penguin is trying to break the toe. Defends the inside line. The top 2 are side by side on the net. Top 2 are side by side. And Margin running outside to take second place in the race, as there is yellow flags out for a Williams driver. Page, no, it might be Mimic Games. I have absolutely no idea who's gone off, but Margin has got the net race lead of the race.
Raheem's fallen off the pace a little bit, but that's to be expected with the softer compound ahead of him. However, it should net him his second podium regardless, if he can keep it on track and maintain pace.
This strategy by Raheem has completely backfired. Went for the undercut. It's probably only going to finish third now. The good news to this, it should be a second podium for Raheem, unless NMX James has got rapid pace and actually catches Raheem come the end of 36 laps. But out in front, James is continuing for another lap. Towards the battle for P2 though, these two are fighting for your net race lead as our drivers second and third swap once more, and Billy and Penguin is back into second place. Margin will look around the outside, maybe try the up and under. Contact between the pair of them, between front wing and rear wing, as towards turn number 3 we go, and Margin does back out of it as Sci-Fi Mega Hype has finally left the session after DNFing all those laps to go. I'm surprised he stayed in for so long.
What do you think the chances are that Billy and Penguin and Lil Margin take each other out?
Ah, it's always a possibility. You don't want it to happen because you always want to see a clean race. But for Raheem's sake, he is probably praying that happens right now. What could happen though? Raheem's on the hard tyres, right? Obviously, the tyre wears are immeasurable in this game. Is there a chance that Raheem then has the next phase? Actually, Billy and Penguin has dropped Margin. He's actually on for a personal best. Sorry, as I was saying, is there a chance that Raheem comes back into play here because he's on the hard compound tyres? despite
I think it'll
being
happen,
a
but
lap
it's going
older.
to take a little bit longer. I want to say around lap 7's probably with a fall off on the mediums and the change over
Championship
to
leaders in.
advantage.
Sorry to butt in there. NMX James into pit lane, a really cautious pit entry, and it's a set of the medium compound tyres as expected. He will be absolutely rapid to the end, and I think he might actually come out in P4, P5. I think it's no, it will be P5. I think it'll be quite close with Fizzy Boy on pit exit. We go through turn one.
He's got Fizzy Boy easy.
Yeah, he has. So, the strategy might have actually come into play for James. He's got 12 seconds to make up in the final 10 laps of this race. Out in front, the gap is back down to half a second. So, maybe an absolutely monumental lap from Billy and Penguin. Maybe a one-lap hurrah to try and keep out of the DRS. He did break the DRS through this mini back straight. But he's back, Margin is back within it. But through this section of the racetrack, Margin seems to have maybe lower wings in comparison to Billy and Penguin. Because what's the time he gained through here? Actually, Randy really gained a 10th, to be honest. But through this section, yeah, Billy and Penguin already gained that 10th back. As towards the penultimate corner of the racetrack we go. And James has already gained a second on this lap to Raheem. So is Raheem's podium under threat. Round the banking we go. Towards turn 1 we go. Going on to lap 28 of 36. Margin's gaining. He's gaining. He's going to the inside. The top two are side by side once again. It's Penguin v Margin. Side by side they go through Tarzan. Towards turn 2 and 3 we go now. Mercedes v Haas. And Billy and Penguin does back out of it. And Margin in the Mercedes on debut retakes the lead of the Dutch Grand Prix. His arrow says Raheem tyre will come back towards the end. Without a doubt they will. But will it be a bit too late for when his tyres come back, as that was almost side by side between the two Williams pair? What am I on about? The two drivers changed position at the same time there. Ash, as A54 has retired. We got a safety car here in Zandvoort for the second time.
Oh, what do you do in this situation? You know, there's only going to be like 4 laps of racing. Surely you box, right?
I think he's chucking to set us off now. If we look at Margin, might have another set of if you've got mediums, put the mediums on. If you have mediums, you go for mediums.
Or do you prioritize track position? Because NMX James now in pretty much the perfect position to like 1 lap older than anybody that will pit now, but
I think
essentially
James
fresh
should stay out.
mediums.
James should stay out. So what happens with our race leaders? Margin pits. Penguin stays out. And so does Raheem. Raheem and Penguin stay out. Margin should only Margin, I think, should only lose a plate, which might actually keep third. James might come out. James might be 4th or 5th. This is going to be very, very tight. On pit exit, James is just going to get the Mercedes through turn 1 we go. So James, the championship leader, is in prime position to win this race. Margin and James will be catching these lot. Actually, they won't have to catch anything, will they? When the safety car comes in, they're going to be so much faster by an incredible rate or not.
The Penguin, though, does have the back marker of, I believe, Page between himself and Raheem, so that's going to be to his advantage.
The Raheem's actually then got RJ, the RWJ, and the Aston Martin of Mimic Games as well. So Mimic James and RWJ are in between 2nd and 3rd, as the two Ferraris are side by side. So when we get racing, I'm surprised Dobo didn't pit. That's caught me out a bit.
It is such a tricky one with the late stage safety car. Do you opt for track position or better tires? You know, it's a gamble.
I mean, if you was in the position like Billy and Penguin, Raheem, J, why not pit? Clearly, you should have pitted. They would have. The only position I understand. It's a tough one. I get why James stayed out. Only a lap. Has only done like 1 or 2 proper laps on his mediums. The top 5, the 4th and 5th, on brand new mediums. James on relatively new mediums. Raheem, old hards. Billy and Penguin, old mediums. Ash on relatively new mediums. Dobo on old hards. Ellis on relatively new mediums. Cali Canal, who caused a absolutely chaotic safety car restart on the last attempt. Old hards. MQK on new mediums. Ansu and Page, new soft. But the bad news for Paige, she is going to be finishing P12. A minute behind Ansu.
There's a large gap between P11 and P12.
Yeah, exactly. Paige is going to be a lap behind Ansu. Safety car might come in at the end of this lap, which means we'd have 6 laps of racing. It'd be a late call-in if it was. It'd probably be call-in maybe
Next
around
lap,
now.
I reckon. Oh, bit of contact from Mimic into the back of...
Safety car in.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, contact! Raheem's got damage, I think. Who is it? Someone, I think, no, Paige. Paige has got damage. Just ran into the rear of Billy and Penguin. So, we haven't even got going yet. We've already some damage. Here we go then. Back onto racing. 6 to go. Here at Zandvoort as down towards turn number 1 we go. And it is Penguin who leads from Raheem, James, Margin. And then side by side we go between Ash and Fizzy Boy, who had a look on the inside. Dobo now looking on Fizzy Boy as there's contact between them. MQK and Cali Canal are side by side through turn 3. And MQK has got the places onto the curb. Goes Cali Canal, now losing the place to Ansu as well. As now out towards Ellis and MQK. Those two are side by side. You don't see many moves around the outside here. On board with MQK and the Sauber. Looking around the outside, touching the grass around the outside. Surely not around the outside here. That is a sensational move by the Kick Sauber, as Raheem is now back in play for the race win. But James and Margin are looking over there, are looking in front of them. Raheem will be looking over his shoulder as there's a little bit of a moment there for Raheem. He's under pressure now from James as towards the braking zone of the chicane we go. Billy and Penguin lead from Raheem. NMX James and Margin are your top 4. The top 4 that has really been since the safety car restart. Obviously, don't forget MQK. Round the banking we go. And our championship leader is looking to improve 1 place as towards turn 1 we go. Side by side are we between our race leaders. James has a little look but isn't close enough. 3/10 splitting the top 3 in the race. Half a second between the top 4. It is literally nose to tail here as Margin had to back out massively there as wide went the McLaren, and it's now side by side between James and Raheem. They're side by side through the twists and turns of Sector 1, and James, our championship leader, is up into 2nd place and is looking to extend his margin ahead of the rest by a country mile, as now Margin has lost a bit more time to the rear of Raheem.
I don't know if Billion's going to be able to hang on.
Dobo's off. No, not Dobo. Ansu's off. Dobo and Ansu have had moments. Both Red Bulls tumbling down the order as what's happened behind? What's happened behind? Somebody's happened behind. Is it Raheem? Raheem went off in the gravel. Raheem and Margin have made contact. And Raheem is now right on the tails on the curb. Goes Raheem, who was looking set for a race win, but out in front. James pulls out to the inside and overtakes Billy and Penguin. And our championship leader takes the lead of the Dutch Grand Prix. Billy and Penguin might have to now settle for 2nd, as Margin will be next up to try and attack the Haas driver. 20 people watching if you've just tuned in. Welcome in, you're in the latter stages of the Dutch Grand Prix. WHF Season 6, Tier 3, Round 4, and our championship leader has just gone and taken the lead of the Dutch Grand Prix and will now try to break away. 9/10 of a second is the gap out in front, as Margin might be actually getting a bit affected more by the DRS. Through the right-hander we go, now into the next right-hander, where the death of curb may await him. But Billy and Penguin's doing well to keep that DRS. Could we see a bit of gains like we saw in Singapore 2023, as there's a bit of a moment for Margin? Could we see the games we saw played by Carlos Sainz through towards the braking zone of the chicane we go? Is Margin going to be put under pressure from Raheem? I don't think so, but is I'm going to try and get my word out into the grass. Goes Margin into the grass, costing himself maybe a tenth or two as Billy and Penguin has actually kept the DRS only just. I'm going to finally say what I was going to say. Are we going to see James bomb James to keep Billy and Penguin in DRS like we saw Carlos Sainz do back all the way in Singapore in 2023? Is this going to keep Billy and Penguin in the DRS? So Margin on those youngest tyres of the top 4 not do anything, but Margin seems to be all over the place at the minute, Scones.
I think it's a lot of panic from a few drivers. There's been a little bit of contact after the restart, and I think it may have thrown a few people off. Oh, almost a spin there from Margin. Well saved though.
Is those medium tyres maybe overheating? Is the rear tyres maybe overheating on Margin's car, which has just caused them to have all these little micro mistakes? Either way, Margin should be able to shape up a move on Penguin. The ERS levels were not that different. I'm going to turn the telemetry off. That's actually quite blocky. I'm going to get rid of the... Actually, I'm going to get rid of the tyres as well. You know what? You're getting no details. We're just going to see the gap. Round the banking we go. Towards turn 1. Onto the penultimate lap of the race. Is in the wall. Went Margin there. Tapping the wall on the inside, on the outside of the banking. Round the outside, Margin will go to second place in the race. And he's got 1 lap to get back in that DRS. 1.3 seconds is the gap. It's just got to be a Hail Mary send now from Margin on this lap. As we're looking from the rear of the Ferrari, 1.3 is the gap between the top 2 on the racetrack. Our championship leader, who didn't really seem to be in contention for the win, started P5, didn't really seem to have that front running pace after the gamble to stay out under the first safety car. He hasn't pitted under any circumstances under the safety car. He has not had any luck with the safety cars, but he's still leading this race, and this is probably the performance of a worthy champion from MX James, championship leader, maybe a champion awaiting. As through sector 2 we go. Has he got DRS? Margin taking that shorter line. Does. Margin has got the DRS, I believe. We'll watch from the rear wing of Margin. DRS now? Yes, he has. But is absolutely nowhere near to get some DRS as he tagging the grass on the inside of the banking onto the final lap of this race as Margin sets off to James. Is it going to be a win for the championship leader? Is it going to be a win for the Silver Arrows? We have got 1 minute to go of this race. On the final lap of this race, MQK's got ahead of Ellis, but we don't care about that right now. We're looking at our race leaders through the banking of turn 4 for the final time. 9/10 of a second is the gap out in front. Margin has led parts of this race. James has barely led this race. He's only led the race when he's been needing to pit, but he's leading the most crucial lap. He's leading the final lap. The Ferrari, the championship leader, started in P5. Margin started in P6. These two started on the same road together. James started in 5th. Margin started in 6th. They are going to finish 1-2, but it's all dependent on the order. Through the chicane we go in sector 2 for the final time. These two have been so persistent since the safety car restart, weaving their way through the field. But out in front, it is your championship leader with a championship worthy performance out of the banking for the final time. In the sunshine skies in Zandvoort, James will win the Dutch Grand Prix by 4.5 tenths of a second from Margin.
Down to the line, Raheem snatches P3.
By 55 milliseconds, Raheem gets the podium from Billy and Penguin. Ash, great race for the Mercedes in 5th. Cali Canal, after all the shenanigans going on under safety car, and the first safety car, finishes 6th. Sauber, double top 10, double top 8 for them really, 7th and 8th. And the race is done. I didn't get to see the rest, but it is your championship leader with a champion's performance, winning the Dutch Grand Prix. Onto the podium we go with your top 3. The Irishman on the top step once more here in Zandvoort. It's a win for the championship leader to extend his margin by a country mile. The Irishman rises the trophy high and proud with a Mercedes and a McLaren on the podium with them. We haven't seen this in real life this year, but we've got it in the game today. Ferrari winning Grand Prix. As towards race results we go. I'll go through the race results in a second. Let me just get the race director quickly.
So, NMX James, your race winner, little margin, got fastest lap. MQK getting both most overtakes as well as driver of the day.
Very nice. So, just your final race classification provisionally. James wins from margin. Then Raheem, Penguin, Ash, Caddy Cannell, MQK, Fizzy Boy, Ellis Dobo, Ansu Page, Mimic Games, and RWJ are your finishers. A54, your pole sitter, NXJ, Timmy, Sci-Fi Mega Hype, and Jamie Dwyer, your 5 DNFs for this race. James wins from margin and Raheem. That's your top 3. And that's the Dutch Grand Prix. Done and dusted. Scones, what did you think of that?
Mate, what a race. Like I said, tier 3, they might be the lowest tier, but my God, can they put on a show. Like, you had a photo finish that was battling towards the end. Granted, 2 safety cars, not ideal, but they had managed to keep the racing close throughout the race, which we do love to see. There was battles and chaos throughout. Hardly a dull moment, and what a comeback for James after his start losing all those positions, managing to claw back a win.
I must say,
Incredible stuff.
for the first time of watching Tier 3, might have to start tuning in some more. That was very fun.
That's what I'm saying,
That was really
bro.
good to watch. Obviously, the championship leader, James. Bravo. Phenomenal performance. I would do interviews if my share audio worked in Discord. I could interview Xbox people.
I think most people wouldn't bother trying to join an Xbox party.
I know.
Because like I said beforehand, it is pretty buggy on PC.
Yeah. So I think we will just conclude that there. Arrow, are you probably going to go find someone to raid? I'm going to guess. I'm going to try and see if I can find someone for you.
And then obviously we'll be back same time tomorrow, 8 p.m. For Tier 2, and it will be Canada.
Tukey is live, Arrow. If you want to raid him. I'll watch a Formula 1 virtual. Right, go join in the raid if you would want to go. Obviously spread the WHF love with Formula 1 virtual. But for now, we will see you all for the next one. Dutch Grand Prix is done, and it was a Dutch delightful race. Scones, anything you want to say before we say goodbye to our wonderful viewers?
No, I think we've covered it all. Hopefully see everybody back tomorrow and Sunday, and possibly next week for the next Tier 3 race.
Right. Thank you all for tuning in. Ciao, adios. I am done.